So, with artificial intelligence being the gold standard in terms of writing made easy, there is a new tool and a new way to actually get your text to be humanized. One thing that most people haven't realized is that the default text from ChatGPT and GPT-4 actually contains a really custom written way that is really easy to detect, even by humans now. So, for example, there was this recent text that I was using to help brainstorm in the video about AI replacing human workers. It's a great video, you should definitely check it out. But you can see right here, it outputted this text. And the thing that I was asking it was that, do you think in the future there will be tax reliefs for companies that use human workers instead of AI? And essentially, I was just asking the question because everything is going to be automated. Are there going to be some companies that actually get free money because they're employing human workers? Now, it gave me this really cool paragraph. But the problem is that ChatGPT, every time you ask it something, it outputs it in a very consistent and formative way that may always, in fact, sound a bit too AI like. And I promise you, it's not good because what you always want is if you are using an AI system, these AI systems are really good, but there are certain ways to get this text to sound even better than the default options. And of course, you could always hit regenerate, but that's not the point. What you could do is use this tool right here. So this tool is essentially Hicks AI Writer. Now they have a bunch of many different things that you can do, but we're not going to be focusing on anything crazy. What we're going to be focusing on is the Hicks bypass. And the Hicks bypass is truly undetectable AI writing. Now, there's one thing that you guys might be thinking, wait a minute. Why am I going to be using this when I could just use one of the random websites that I use to bypass AI generated text? Well, the thing about Hicks AI, why it's better than everything is that I was literally using this a couple of minutes ago. And with Hicks.ai, you can see that it checks the results on every single other website that you can use to do human level AI checks. So for example, content at scale, writer, sapling, GPT-0, copy leaks, cross flag. So rather than, copying the text and then putting it into every single one and then opening this tab and then checking this and then opening this tab and checking this, we actually have something that saves us time because it does that automatically on the back end. So this was a tab, and essentially all I've done is I've pasted the text in here, and then of course I've clicked humanize. So you can see, but essentially all I need to do is I just need to simply get this text right here, just simply click copy. Then here, all I need to do is click paste like this, you can see. And then of course, once I click humanize, this is the output that we get. Now, this is good. I guess, the default ChatGPT text is good, but look at the humanized text, okay? It says, for example, let's just read both of these and I want to show you why this is so good. And the reason I'm making this video is because number one, you can bypass, many different, AI writing detectors. And number two, even if you don't want to bypass detectors, you can still use this to, make your, writing for whatever software it is sound so much more effective. And I'm really glad I found this tool. Now, essentially it says the idea of providing tax relief to companies that use human workers instead of AI is a concept that has been discussed in various contexts. The future of such policies largely depends on how governments and societies respond to the increasing integration of AI into the workforce, and here are a few considerations: automation and employment, yada yada yada. So it goes on to 5 points. Then this is how the humanized text sounds. And I'm going to show you guys how you can do it. And remember, right here, I'm going to give you guys a quick walkthrough of this, but you can have this tab right here, and this actually shows you different ways to get the text. So you've got aggressive, balanced, and fast. And essentially balanced is just a balance of both. So you can see the idea of offering tax breaks to businesses that use human labor instead of robots has come up in various settings. As AI becomes ever more integrated with the workplace, the future of such policies depends greatly on how governments and societies respond to its spread. There are several issues to consider: automation and employment. People worried about jobless and automation technologies become more widespread. And you can see that this definitely does just sound a bit more better. Now, we could also, let's say, for example, we didn't like the way it was humanized. We can then go to aggressive, and then we can click humanize there. And then we can get this to be humanized a bit more. You can see this AI is working. It should only take a couple of seconds. And then, of course, you can see that this aggressive one, now what we've got is the aggressive one. So essentially, if you didn't like it before, the aggressive output here is essentially going to sound really, really human-like. So if you want it to be like, a bit more balanced, you want it to be a bit, you like the way that the AI has put it, and you want it to be a bit more balanced, you can use balance. But if you want it to be super like human, then this is going to be pretty crazy. So just read this, okay? With respect to a conceptualist view for compensating companies to the extent that they employ human labor instead of AI, this idea has been talked about in a number of scenarios. The future of such policies largely depend on how governments and societies respond to the increasing integration between AI and human capital. Here are some things to consider. That is a much better paragraph in terms of how it sounds, and that does not sound as AI generated as the previous ones. And we also did get some more words here. And then of course, here is their latest one, which is completely different. So I'm actually going to copy these and then compare these. And if you want to copy these, you can actually check yourself. So now here, like I said, I've checked the latest one, and you can see right here that human written from Crosslag, OpenAI, GPT-0, Sapling, Writer, and Content at Scale. Then, of course, we've got 50% human written on 0GPT, and then the X's show that it's AI generated. So, like I said, this is, truly undetectable AI writing. And I think there's many different ways that you can apply this to, because the way that how ChatGPT formats everything, it just isn't that great. Because what I've started to realize is that people have actually started to, catch on to how ChatGPT writes stuff. And that's even becoming more apparent, because if we take a look at this comment from Reddit, this comment sums it up so much. Because the other day I was reading this, post in Futurology, and they were saying that AI generated spam, ruins the internet. And he said, it happens a lot lately that I read a comment on Reddit that absolutely looks like a human response, only to discover it's a bot spamming text sensitive remarks all day long. I'm afraid at the moment, when it will not be able to tell the difference, you'll never be sure that there's a person on the other end, or if you're talking to yourself. So the point I was trying to make with that is that basically every single piece of AI generated text is really easy to discover, even by the average user. So if you aren't using software like this to write out, whether it be your articles, whether it be, your student exams or whatever it is, you really do need to, because trust me, if you're not, you're definitely going to eventually get caught. That's why I'm recommending this. And so the very best thing that you can have about this is the fact that it's one button, the fact that this is actually really, really cheap. So if you actually take a look at the pricing tiers, I'm not sure where they are, but essentially, if we take a look at our current plan, which is actually free, which means I'm not really paying anything, so you can actually just start for free. But if you do get Pro, okay, you can actually just customize it as well, which I find to be so amazing. Because, for example, if I wanted to upgrade this, I can, choose the amount of words that I want to use, because I know with a lot of services, they just charge you a flat fee, and sometimes you might not want that. So what you can do is you can just do like, okay, I only want to pay £15 a month, or $15 a month, or I want to pay less because I'm not going to be using it that much, or I just want to try out the free trial. So you can see that AI chat is free. You got 1,000 words here, 500 words here with GPT 3.5. And it's really, really effective, because I think what you can also do as well is that, a lot of people probably don't know about this tool. So you can actually share, a link. You can just literally click here, share a link, and then you can get a bunch of free words as well. So you and your friends, if you use this, you can actually get free words too. So it's got a lot of stuff as well, because I know that this video is about just Hicks bypass and how, you can try a sample, and you can see right there, you can just literally just click aggressive, humanize, and within like seconds, you have immediately being able to check every single website to see whether or not it's AI generated. And of course, if you actually do want to do a quick test yourself, so for example, if you go ahead and copy the text yourself, then go ahead to GPT-0 and then of course test it, you can see that we instantly get something that is 92% AI generated, which is of course not what you want. So come over to Hicks.ai, remove that text, paste it in. Then of course we click humanize. You can see right now it is humanizing the text. It does take around 10 or 20 seconds, which is not that much time at all, but you can see it manages to check the grammar, correct the grammar, read the grammar, make sure that everything's pretty good. After it does that, you can see it just filters through every single website. So essentially what you want to do is after this bar is going to load up, it's going to show you which websites it's good at. But of course, you can always double check. So go ahead and then get the output text, which is now completely humanized, which is going to bypass pretty much everything. And then all you want to do, just click copy, go over ahead to GPT-0, go ahead and check it. This is just an example website. And then once we click scan, so I'm going to go ahead now and click scan. Then you guys are going to see that, of course, it says human, human, human. So I think this is a really useful tool for those of you who just want to do some work. And of course, you don't want to go through the entire process of having to make these small adjustments and not realize whether or not it is being flagged as human or not. And I think this is a really effective way to do that. We do have a lot of stuff here like Article GPT, Desktop GPT, and AI Writer that can help you out as well. So I think stuff like this is definitely very effective. Rather than opening up a million different tabs, it honestly just makes sense to keep everything in one area and just use it for free. And of course, you can see my monthly one right here. You can literally just upgrade it based on what you want. And literally, it's like only like £6 a month. So it's not something that is overly expensive. And although you can just ask ChatGPT to rephrase it, it isn't always good to do that because it's going to rewrite it in a style. And then you're going to have to cross-check it on 50 other different websites. So I think this is actually pretty useful. And if you are trying to rephrase your articles, this is definitely the website for you. So with that being said, don't forget to check this out because this is something that is very, very good. So I would say, let me know what you guys are thinking. And if there are any other useful things that you do want to be shared, don't forget to leave a comment down below in the comment section below.